Have you ever been to a bar?
No.
A disco?
No.
Anything at all? Because your whole life you wanted to give yourself only to him, right?
A young nun doesn't really know how to party, but that's the least of her worries, and The First Omen won a few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies, along with Alex Garland's latest movie with Kirsten Dunst, and a time travel movie that's not like a broken record. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. The First Omen takes place before the original 1976 horror classic and stars Nell Tiger-Free from Game of Thrones as a nun from Massachusetts who arrives in Rome to work at a church's orphanage and befriends a secluded and creepy girl played by Nicole Soros who draws pictures based on the church's sins. Even the priest, Ralph Ineson, tries to warn the young nun, but you know how people are. They don't believe them, but eventually she faces facts.
Bad things will start to happen around her. Evil things.
It's all for you. No, don't.
The First Omen has a few boring scenes, but I still enjoyed it for bringing itself back into the original's territory. I saw none of the bad sequels or prequel, but I can sense it. I choose this over Immaculate, not because it's a commercial film, but because it doesn't take the easy way out and has moments of creepiness and questions about faith. So check it out. Next up, Scoop, a so-so retelling on the interview about the Prince Edward Jeffrey Epstein bombshell. The movie begins with journalist Sam McAllister, played by Billie Piper, being a single mother, being criticized by her co-workers and boss as defensive, and yet being persistent enough to go after the scoop of the decade, which is the 2019 interview.
The allegations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein include his friend Prince Andrew.
Sam, let's start pushing the palace. I want it for us.
You're chasing a story that we're never gonna get.
This is the work. My job is booking the people we can't just call up.
Hello, everyone.
You have a problem that won't go away.
We're looking at options. But there is a red line.
It takes some time to strike an interview deal. You know how it is with publicly disgraced people, especially if this is a royal subject, but it all goes into effect. Sam would produce while Emily Matlas, played by Gillian Anderson, interviews Prince Andrew, played by Rufus Sewell, on location at Buckingham Palace.
South drawing room, 2 chairs, 6 feet apart. It's like a Western. Make no mistake, if we don't get the tone right, the story won't be him. It'll be us.
Some of the performances are fine, but a story this huge deserves more ambiance and importance than what was given here. Scoop does remind people on what went down, but it needs less spotlight and more Frost Nixon, and those are great movies. I wanted to like Scoop because of what story I wanted to retell, but even biographies deserve better than this, so skip it. Next up, Civil War, the latest entry from Ex Machina filmmaker Alex Garland, who delivers a powerful depiction on what our country would be like if a second Civil War were to happen. There's extremist militias, tortures, and murders, and journalists have to have their press passes in order to get their photos. And don't think that doesn't mean they wouldn't be at risk, because they are at risk. Journalists Kirsten Dunst, Wagner, Moura, and Stephen McKinley Henderson are joined by Callie Spaley as a young aspiring photographer, all of whom must travel from New York City to Washington to interview the disgraced president played by Nick Offerman.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
And that's Jesse Plemons as one of the bad guys. Civil War is thrilling, scary, emotionally complex, and damn entertaining regarding the film's disgusting colors. Garland represents this film in a timely manner, the kind you don't want happening to our country. Dunst, in her first role since The Power of the Dog, has the attitude and consistency to convince us of her nature. She's not without her vulnerabilities, and the actress is continuing to prove to us that she's great in any generation. Being an action movie, it has guns and fighting, representing how the second Civil War can engulf America, and it doesn't want to be mindless. It wants to entertain us with how America has lost its mind, and it's some kind of a masterpiece. Next up, Wicked Little Letters, which takes place in Littlehampton, England in the 1920s and tells the story of a devout Christian woman played by Olivia Colman who keeps getting harassing letters and accuses her Irish next-door neighbor Jessie Buckley of writing them because of her potty mouth and dirty mannerisms, and many more people have been receiving these disgusting letters.
The mystery of the letters continues to captivate the nation, in which every household has an opinion on whether Miss Rose Gooding is innocent or guilty.
German.
There's also a woman police officer played by Aliana Vassan who wants to get involved with the case despite all the male chauvinist pigs who tell her otherwise. She knows Buckley is innocent and is willing to prove that.
I'm not standing for it.
I should think not.
Come on then.
Rose is about to go down for something she didn't do. Now, I have a plan.
I won't listen to another word till my egg.
Can you really not wait? You're such an energetic person, usually.
Worth its weight in gold. Appreciated. Apologies. Where were we?
As I was saying, I have a plan.
Wicked Little Letters is a British comedy that knows cursing and likable characters when it sees them. Unlike certain American raunchy comedies, this period comedy doesn't force the cursing on the characters. It allows them to acknowledge how certain people would use them within their behaviors, and it features certain kind of vulnerabilities and emotions within them, so if we look past some of the cynicism within the screenplay, we can see the outspoken and courageous spirits these women can possess. So check it out. And our last movie is The Greatest Hits, a time travel movie made for Hulu and starring Lucy Boynton as a young woman whose boyfriend, David Corenswet, dies in a car accident, which now gives her a condition. Hearing a certain song takes them back to the first day they heard that. It only lasts for the duration of that song unless she turns off the record player. She must find the right song that can make her save her boyfriend's life.
Ever since the accident, certain songs literally pull me back into the past.
What do you want to do today?
All of it.
In the meantime, she attends support groups and meets a new member played by Justin H. Min, who lost both of his parents and becomes a potential new love interest for her, which would be complicated considering her goal. Her time-traveling condition can also come at the worst possible time, which is why she must wear headphones to try to block off her triggering music.
I used to listen to this album over and over. And I love how music can do that.
What?
Pull you back to some moment in time.
It's obligatory that her new friend has to not believe her at first because after all, this is supposed to be a fantasy, but eventually he warms up to her condition. The Greatest Hits has a nice soundtrack, some sweet performances from the leads, and an honest and consistent nature to the girl's own meaning of life. It's one of those time travel movies that don't require special effects or big budgets. Besides, the movie isn't about time travel as the premise would suggest. It's about thinking of other people and what decisions must be or have been made. It's a sweet little movie, so check it out. To recap this week's new movies, thumbs up for The First Omen, thumbs down for Scoop, thumbs way up for Civil War, thumbs up for Wicked Little Letters, and thumbs up for The Greatest Hits. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and this is all for you. For more amazing content, please like and subscribe to my channels, and please read my reviews at cjatthemovies.com and download the new HD Radio app.